Hello dear students and a very good morning to all of you. Today I am back here with the second part of the fifth chapter of geography, that is agricultural practice, its significance and types. Today I am providing you the second part, but before starting the second part, let's revise what we have learned in the previous part. In the previous part, I have explained you about the process through which raw materials convert into manufactured goods. We have learned about three economical activities, that was primary, secondary and tertiary activities. Primary activity is basically the extraction of raw materials. Okay, the next one is the secondary, in which that raw materials is changes or modified to the manufactured goods, and the third one was tertiary, that means that provides the support to the primary and the secondary economical activities. We have learned about what is agriculture, as I have explained you that agriculture is a Latin word that comes from two Latin words, that is agar and culture. That means, what is agriculture? Agriculture or farming is basically the science and art of the cultivation or rearing of animals on soil. We have learned about agriculture also, and we have seen that what were the factors that are responsible for the good agricultural growth. We have learned that why the agricultural production varies from one place to another. There are some key factors, that is climate, soil, relief and drainage, human factors, etc. All these are responsible for the variations in the agricultural production all over the world. As I have told you that in the next part I will explain you about types of farming. That means in whole world people apply different types of methods for cultivating the soil. Basically, people in different parts of the world practice different types of farming on the basis of size of their land holding. That means not every farmers are having equal area of land. Okay, geographical conditions, that I have explained you that some regions are mountainous, some are plain. So that also depend, that also is a factor that define the type of farming. Labor used, as we can say that there are some people those who do the cultivation on their field by themselves, but there are some landowners those who are having very large areas of land for the farming, and in that they used to hire agricultural laborers for farming. And like that only, the type of technology used by them, that also determine the type of farming. That means in some areas people used to use small, or we can say that crude implements for the farming, and in some areas people use high tech machineries for the cultivation. Farming can be brought, all these factors, depending upon all these factors, farming can be broadly defined into subsistence farming and commercial farming. But before learning about subsistence or commercial farming, let's learn about sedentary farming. The word sedentary means, what is the meaning of the word sedentary? So students, as we have learned or learning from the starting only, that people were the nomadic herders. They moved from one place to another in search of food. What is the meaning of sedentary? Sedentary means a settled life. When people discovered agriculture, then they started living at one place for cultivating their fields, and that is only known as sedentary. That means people started residing at one place for cultivating their fields. They started settling at permanently at one place. They are no more herders or gatherers. They started settling at one place, and that is only known as sedentary farming. That means when agriculture is practiced at one place, okay, by a settled farmer, okay, he is not changing his field again and again. He is doing or performing agriculture in the same field for years and years. That is only known as sedentary farming. Okay, so what is the meaning of the sedentary farming? It is a type of settled agriculture. Okay, when people settled at one place for doing agriculture, that is only known as sedentary farming. Now let's start a topic, that is types of farming. In the previous part only I have explained you that what are the types of farming, but let's revise it once again and we will learn it properly in broad manner. Okay, so types of farming, as I have explained you, it depends upon the geographical condition, it depends upon the demand of production, on the labor that is used, on the level of technology, as well as the amount or the scale of production, how much we are producing from a particular farm. That also determines the types of farming. On the basis of all these factors, there are main two types of farming. The first is subsistence farming and the next is commercial farming. Now what is the meaning of subsistence farming, that we will see first. Now let's start with the subsistence farming. Okay, so what is the meaning of this subsistence farming? When a farmer earn, or when a farmer perform farming only for his or his family's consumption, that is only known as subsistence farming. So subsistence farming is practiced by a farmer to meet the needs of his family. That means he is not performing agriculture for selling it in the market. He is only farming, or he is only perform farming for the consumption of his family and himself. Okay, so let's see what is subsistence farming. Basically we will learn about this, that in subsistence farming a farmer is practicing farming for the meat, to meet the needs of his family. If a person is growing only for himself, that means his land or the land holding is also very small. So let's see the features of the subsistence farming. The size of land holding is small. Okay, that is not very large, since the farmer is only producing for himself and his family. Members of household only work on the farm themselves, and the family members only work in the fields for the cultivation. Like all the processes of the farming is done by the members of the family only. Farming is done by using animals, that means they use bullock carts and all those for the purpose of tilling their or tilling their fields. So basically farming is done by animals and they use simple tools and minimum use of technology. They do not use very much technologies in the field. Basically in subsistence farming, all the work is done by the manpower only, by the family members only. Farm output is just enough. That means they are not able to produce that much that they can sell in the market, that they are producing only that much that they can consume. Farmers are poor. These farmers are poor and have a low standard of living. They are not very rich farmers, because if they will be rich, that means they will produce more and they will sell it in the market. So these are the features of the subsistence farming. What is subsistence farming? When a farmer is producing, or when a farmer is performing farming only for his consumption or his family's consumption, that is only known as subsistence farming, where manpower is used, family members only work in the field. Okay, and size of land is very small. The farm output is also very less. They only grow for themselves. So this is the type of subsistence farming. Now we will learn this subsistence farming is also of two types. The first one is primitive subsistence farming and the next is intensive subsistence farming. Now what is the meaning of primitive subsistence farming? So students, as we were learning about the early humans, during that time only we have learned about two things, that what people used to do for fulfilling their, or for earning their livelihood, or we can say that for fulfilling their needs. Basically they only learn according to the environment and they become food gatherers and hunters. Slowly they learn to tame animals also. They started taming animals and they started depending upon the animals for their needs of the food. Then they started performing, when they started, then the agriculture discovered and they started depending upon agriculture. Okay, so primitive subsistence farming is, that means the oldest way of farming is the primitive subsistence farming. And intensive subsistence farming, that means that is developed nowadays. Okay, that means that is little bit broader than the primitive subsistence farming. So let's see what is primitive subsistence farming. It refers to the type of agriculture practices since primitive times. That means it is the oldest way of farming. This type of farming is practiced on small patches of land with the help of primitive tools. That means the handmade tools or the tools that are made up of stones, that only people use for the purpose of tilling or for the purpose of farming in the field. This type of farming depends upon monsoon. That means there were no irrigation facilities available at that time, no fertilizers were available at that time. So what people used to do, they depend on monsoon, and they depend, as well as they depend on natural fertility of the land. As I have explained you, we have learned about slash and burn agriculture. That is the form of primitive farming. Slash and burn, what happened? People used to cut the trees, they used to burn the trees there only. The ashes works as the fertilizers for the field. They cultivate on that field for some years, and as the soil loses its fertility, they move from that place. That means there were no artificial mediums of increasing the fertility of the soil for irrigation purposes. So they totally depend on nature. That was only the primitive subsistence farming. Okay, next is organic fertilizers are used to increase the fertility of the soil. What they use animal manures for the increasing the fertility of the soil. So this was only the subsistence primitive farming. When people, this is the oldest method that I am explaining you. Nextly, now primitive subsistence farming is also of two types, that is slash and burn agriculture, and the next is nomadic herding. Both, about both of them you are already aware. What is slash and burn agriculture? This I have explained you in class 7th only, when we were learning about the people of the forest regions, when we were learning about Amazon regions, Amazon basins. In that only we learned about slash and burn agriculture. Slash and burn agriculture is also named as shifting cultivation as well as jhum cultivation. And this type of agriculture is practiced by the tribal people. What about nomadic herding? Nomadic means the people who move from one place to another. Herding means with the herd of their animals. So basically, what is nomadic herding? As we have learned, agriculture doesn't mean only growing crops on the field. Agriculture means rearing animals also. Both these include in the agriculture. So slash and burn is the way of farming, and nomadic herding is the way of rearing livestock. So let's see first about slash and burn agriculture. It is also known as shifting cultivation. So slash and burn agriculture is also known as shifting and jhum cultivation. It is a primitive way of agriculture practiced by tribals. The people, those who are living in jungles or those who are living in forest, they used to practice this type of farming. Okay, this is the oldest way. This practice is one of the oldest forms of migratory agriculture. Why it is migratory agriculture? Because people used to perform farming in one field for some years. As the soil loses its fertility, they move to another field. Okay, so what exactly slash and burn agriculture? We will learn its process. So let's see what happened first. Firstly, what people used to do, a part of land is being cleared by felling the trees and burning them. First, they cut the trees, and after that, they burn that areas. Okay, that area, the ash that remains, they then mix that ash to the soil. That ash provides fertility to the soil for growing the crops. After that, basically in the tribal areas, we have learned that in Amazon basin they used to grow cassava. There are potatoes, yam, maize. Okay, so the seeds that are available in the forest areas, they used to grow that only by the medium of slash and burn agriculture. After that, they used to cut the fields, trees, they used to burn those trees. Then that ash will mix to the soil and it will provide fertility to the soil. Then they sow their seeds, and they continuously grow the crops for 2-3 years. Okay, when they started seeing that now the production is becoming less, then they used to leave that field. Okay, and they move to another places. As the soil loses its fertility, they move to another place. The cultivators abandon the land, move to another area. Each time a spot of virgin forest is selected as it is more productive. They used to search natural forest and they used to cut it for the purpose of cultivation. They never used a, we can say that, isolate field patch of land. They always cut the trees and they burn it so that the soil becomes fertile, because it gives potash to the soil. Family members do the farming. They use crude tools. That means like early humans only, they use the tools made up of wood or made up of stones, and implements like sticks, hoes, picks and machetes. Okay, so this was the slash and burn agriculture. We are very well familiar to it. We have already learned about slash and burn in class 7th. Now let's see about nomadic herding. What is nomadic herding? When people or group of people move from one place to another with the herd of their animals or the animals that they tame, like sheep, goat, cows, buffaloes, from one place to another, that is only known as nomadic herders. People used to rear animals, and according to the pastures of the animals, okay, they move from one place to another. As the pasture of animal of at one place finishes, they move to another place. Okay, so some animal herders move from one place to another in search of forage and water for their animals. Now why there is need of herders to move from one place to another? For the fulfilling the need of their animals. Okay, so today many of them are becoming sedentary. Nowadays those nomadic farmers are also becoming started settling at one place. We have learned about many tribal herders in class 7th. Only we have learned about nomadic herding. Okay, they used to rear sheep, camel, yak, goats. They used to rear, from which they get something. Now one more thing I want to explain you about transhumanes. Transhumanes is basically a practice where animals migrate seasonally along well defined traditional routes. Transhumance is when a person moves from one place to another with the herd of their animal, and they use, like some animals, seasonal migrating is there na. Some animals cannot survive in cold climates, so they move to the warmer climate. So that is seasonal. Again, when the climate become warm, they move back to the another place. So the route is also same always. Okay, so what is transhumance? It is a practice where animals migrate seasonally along well defined traditional routes. Okay, so this is only known as transhumance, when people move with their herds from one place to another. Now why people used to rear animals? They used to rear animals, gentle animals, okay, from which they get something like milk, meat or skin, and even as beasts of burden. Okay, they use them for carry their loads also. So depending upon the climate of a region, which animal can survive better in which region, according to that only people used to herd animals. So this is also a type of farming. We have learned about slash and burn agriculture, and we have learned about nomadic herding. Now which type of farming is slash and burn and nomadic herding? It is primitive subsistence farming. Okay, now let's see the next one. The next one is intensive subsistence farming. Now what is intensive subsistence farming? So students, this type of farming is basically practiced in the region which is highly or densely populated. The regions that are densely populated, they practice intensive subsistence farming, such as India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Indonesia, South Korea, China, Japan. All these area or people of these area usually practice this intensive subsistence farming. Okay, now why it is known as intensive subsistence farming? Since it is highly populated regions, okay, that means there the land to be cultivated is very less. But since these areas are highly populated, that means they need good amount of agricultural production for the surviving of the population of those areas. So these regions have fertile land, enough rainfall and sunshine, or growing more than one crop in a year. Since these are populated regions, that means they need good agricultural production. That is why these areas are oftenly, or we can say that every amount of fertile land is used for the purpose of agriculture. Okay, farming is practiced on every available piece of land to support the dense population. Okay, so here what is this? Here per person individually grows more in comparison to the whole production. As we are knowing that, so the farming that we are practicing, that is intensive subsistence farming. What happened in this? We will learn about the features of intensive subsistence farming. First of all, in very densely populated countries, farmers use their small land holdings to produce enough for their own consumption, okay? And if after their consumption the remaining produce, they sell in the markets, okay? The cultivators use simple tools to produce the crops. Very little bit they use the technologies. Otherwise, they use manpower only for the purpose of agricultural work. The farmers try to obtain maximum yield for the available land by intensifying cultivation techniques. They use high cultivation techniques so that they can grow more and more, including the preparation of paddy fields which can be used year after year. Okay, so basically in intensive subsistence farming, the farmers use crop rotation also. Crop rotation means they perform farming so that they can grow 2 3 crops in 1 year only. Okay, firstly they will grow wheat, then they will grow pulses according to the seasons, and then they will grow rice. So in each year or in 1 year only, they produce variety of crops according to the needs of the people. So what are the features of this type of farming? Farm size is small, but every bit of cultivable land is utilized for farming. Land is very small with the farmers, but they use every bit of land for the cultivation. Less use of farm machines. As I have explained you, technology used is very less, and more use of labor, manpower is used. Use of simple tools, and animals are also used for the purpose of farming. Use of irrigation for meeting water needs. They use irrigation facilities like pumping set and all for the purpose of irrigation. Use of high yielding varieties of seed, HYV seeds, high yielding variety seeds are used for the purpose of good production. They used natural manure also, they used chemical insecticides or pesticides also, as well as fertilizers also to increase the productivity. So this is all about the intensive subsistence farming. If the question arises, where is the intensive subsistence farming practice? So we will say that this type of farming is practiced in densely populated regions where fertile land is available. Otherwise, this is also a simple method of farming that is only done for the purpose of the consumption of the farmers and his family, and if the production is left, then they used to sell it in the market. So this is all about intensive subsistence farming. Nextly, we are learning about commercial farming. Okay, now what is commercial farming? Commercial, as it is clear by the name only, the farming that is practiced for the purpose of selling the production in the market, that is commercial farming. Okay, so what is commercial farming? This type of farming is practiced for the sale of crops in the market. That means when the people produce more for the purpose of selling and earning money, that is commercial farming. Now, what are the types of commercial farming? Firstly, extensive commercial farming. Next is mixed farming. Next is plantation agriculture or plantation farming. Next is dairy farming, and the other is garden farming. About all these types of farming we are going to learn. So let's start with, so what is commercial? Firstly, we will learn broadly what is commercial farming. In commercial farming, the farmers are having large areas of land. Okay, firstly large areas of lands are required. Nextly, HYV seeds are used. High yielding varieties of seeds are used. Nextly, why they produce? For selling it in the market. So that is why modern technologies are used. That means machineries are used for every work in the farms, as well as they use chemical fertilizers, they use insecticides, pesticides, and all these are used for the higher productivity. The degree of commercialization varies from region to region. They grow or depend upon regions only. Okay, for example, rice is a commercial crop in Punjab and Haryana. Okay, so basically it depends upon the states that produce more, they use extensive commercial or commercial farming. Okay, so let's see the varieties or the types of commercial farming. The first is extensive commercial grain farming. That means when the production of grain is done for the purpose of commercial use, that is only known as extensive commercial grain farming. Okay, in commercial grain farming, crops are grown for commercial purpose. Okay, the areas that are good in the production of whatever crops they used to grow in large. Like in class 7th, we have learned about prairies. Prairies is also known as granaries of the world. Why it is known as granaries of the world? Because that area produces wheat in large amount, or for the purpose of, for commercial purpose. So there the production of wheat is done in extensive form. They produce wheat for selling it in the market. So that is only, let's learn about the features of the extensive commercial farming. So this type of farming is practiced where population is relatively low and fertile land is in plenty. That means where fertile land is more and population is less. What is an intensive farming? Where population is large and whatever fertile land is available, they use it for the purpose of cultivation. This is the difference between intensive and extensive. Next is, it is capital intensive farming. That means firstly the farmer has to invest in the farms. Okay, next is, farms are very large. Almost all work is highly mechanized and scientifically managed. Soil quality is scientifically researched. They used to research the soil quality, which type of minerals are required in the soil, okay, which type of seed can grow better, can give good production. All these things are managed in these farms. Little human labor is employed per farms. Basically all the work is done by the machineries. Chemical fertilizers are used in quantities to ensure good yields. For the good production, chemical fertilizers are used. All the produce is stored in large silos. Since these farms are in extensive commercial grain farming, the production is very huge. That is why there is a huge need of storing those grains also. For that they use storage bins, and I have explained you in prairies there are silos. Okay, metallic long towers are made in which they used to store the wheat. So since the production is more, then there is the need to store the grains also. So I hope extensive commercial farming is understood to you. Next, as you can see, basically machineries are used for this purpose of farming. This type of farming is characterized for monoculture. Now what is the meaning of monoculture? Only one variety of crop is grown for years. They basically grow only one crop. Okay, it's like if you will talk about prairies, so in prairies they grow winter wheat also and summer wheat also. Two types of wheats are grown in prairies. Okay, so they basically grow monoculture, they follow, they grow only one crop. Wheat, barley, oats, rye, corn, soya bean, oil seeds, these are the major crops that are grown under commercial grain farming. So I hope commercial grain farming is also clear to you. Next we will learn about plantation agriculture. Now students, what is the meaning of plantation agriculture? Plantation agriculture means planting a single type of tree or bush crops on a very extensive scale. Okay. Now, which type of crops are grown in plantation agriculture? Tea, the growing of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana, cotton, as well as bamboos. Okay, all these, the production or the growing of all these crops are considered as plantation agriculture. When these crops are grown for commercial purposes or for selling it in the market, then it becomes plantation agriculture. Okay, in plantation, if someone asks you what is plantation agriculture, so its feature is, it is the type of farming in which a single crop is grown on a large area, like we have seen the tea plantation or coffee plantation. The plantation has an interface of agriculture and industries. That means those plantation farms are connected to the industries, because tea leaves or coffee leaves or rubbers are changed into the manufactured products. Plantation agriculture is also a capital intensive inputs. That means it also required capital, a huge amount of money. With the help of laborers, they need laborers also. That means human laborers are also used in this. Okay, so if we will learn about features of the plantation agriculture, so plantation agriculture requires a huge capital, farms are very large scale production होता है, intensive use of machines and skilled laborers चाहिए इसके लिए, they used to pluck the tea leaves as we have seen. Plantation are managed like an industry, okay. The produce is processed on the farms itself or in nearby factories, okay. These farms are having factories also nearby. Plantations are well linked to the markets with a well developed system of transportation as well as communication. So it is like a huge commercial, we can say that commercial input where all the kinds of activities are performed together. Major plantations are located in the tropical regions like coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka, and rubber in Malaysia. If we will talk about in India, so Assam and North Bengal is famous for tea plantation. For coffee plantation, Karnataka is there. For banana plantation, southern part of India is there. For rubber plantation, Kerala. Bamboo plantation, northeast India. Okay, so all these are famous in India for the plantation agriculture. Next, we will see what is mixed farming. Now, what is the meaning of mixed farming? Mixed farming means when both the type of work is done together. What is farming? Farming is growing crops as well as rearing animals. When growing crops and rearing animals is done together, that is only known as mixed farming. So, what is mixed farming? In mixed farming, the land is used for growing food, that means for food of the people, as well as for growing fodder, that means the fodder means the food for the animals, as well as the rearing of animals also took place. That is only known as mixed farming, okay. So in mixed farming, food crops are also grown, the crops for animals are also grown, as well as animals are also reared, okay, for the purpose of use. If we'll talk about mixed farming, so it helps farmers to earn more from the same farmland, because he is growing crops, food crops for his consumption, he is growing fodder crops for the consumption of their animals, and he is rearing animals also so that he can earn more, okay. So that is only known as mixed farming. Mixed farming is basically practiced in Europe, eastern USA, Argentina, southeast Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. So all these are the places where mixed farming is practiced, where people used to rear animals as well as growing crops also. Now nextly we will see what is dairy farming. As it is clear by the name, what is the meaning of dairy? Dairy means milk and milk products, okay. So what is dairy farming? When people used to rear the animals that gives milk, okay, and they used to rear animals for the purpose of the use of milk and milk products for commercial purposes. Milk products like cream, butter, condensed milk, cheese, they used to produce all those things with the help of milk, and they used to rear animals, those give milk. So that is only known as dairy farming, okay. Commercial dairy farming involves the raising of animals primarily for their milk and milk products. When people used to rear animals that gives milk, okay, basically for the milk and milk products, that is only known as dairy farming. Students, dairy farming is also a capital intensive farming in which large amount or very large number of animals are reared together for the purpose of dairy products, okay. Basically these dairy farmings are located nearby the cities and towns, so that the requirement of the cities and towns of milk and milk products can be fulfilled easily. That is only known as dairy farming. What happened in the dairy farming, that we will see. In dairy farming, machineries are used, modern scientific methods are used for the breeding of high quality products, for the breeding of animals, animal and fodder storage. Sheds are constructed on the farms, sheds are constructed for the living of the animals also. Expensive equipments are used for milking machines, machines are used for milking the animals, as well as for feeding of the animals also. Okay, so this is also a very like a business for the production of milk products. Dairy farming is almost practiced in all over the world. Okay, so as we have learned about white revolution is the revolution that works for increasing the milk products in India. White revolution, the father of white revolution is Vergis Kurian. Okay, so he works in the field of white revolution. A major development has come about in the production of milk and milk products, due to which our country has become one of the largest milk producer and exporters in the world. Like Amul is there. Okay, so our country is the largest producer and exporter of milk products in all over the world. That is only dairy farming. If someone asks you about white revolution, so white revolution took place for the good production or for improving the production of milk in India. Now nextly we are going to learn about market gardening and horticulture. Now what is market gardening and horticulture? Market gardening, as I have explained you, what is horticulture? Horticulture is the science and art of growing flowers as well as vegetables as well as fruits and ornamental or medicinal plants. That was only horticulture. Why it is known as market gardening? Because these are done in the garden. Okay, so let's see about market gardening is the production of fruits, vegetables, flowers for the commercial purposes. When we grow fruits, vegetables, flowers or medicinal plants for the purpose of selling it in the market, it is called market gardening or it is known as horticulture. What happened in the market gardening? Market gardens are usually located outside towns and cities where soil and climate are favorable and land is available. So students, in market gardening, since the flowers, fruits, vegetable or medicinal plants or herbs are perishable, that means we cannot store them for a large amount of time. Okay, it is perishable मतलब जल्दी खराब हो जाते हैं. So it must reach the markets quickly before it spoils. So that is why a good system of transportation is required for the purpose of selling of fruits, vegetable, flowers and medicinal herbs to the market so that it can be used. It is also known as truck farming. Why it is known as truck farming? Because trucks, refrigerated trucks, that means the trucks that is equipped with refrigerator that are used for the transporting these perishable goods to the needed place. So it is very important that a good network of transportation is available for the purpose of garden farming so that the production can be reached to the places before it spoils. So it is also known as truck farming. So I hope it is clear to you what is market gardening. Market gardening means market gardening is the production of fruits, vegetables, flowers for the commercial purposes. So students, this is all given in this chapter and this is all there in this chapter. I hope you are able to understand this, but in case if you are not able to understand any point, you can ask me in the comment section or through the WhatsApp group. Now let's see what we have learned in this chapter. We have learned about types of farming. As I have explained you, majorly there are two types of farming. The first is subsistence farming and the other is commercial farming. In subsistence farming, we have learned about primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. In primitive subsistence farming, we have learned about two types of farming, that is slash and burn and nomadic herding. Intensive subsistence farming we have learned. Nextly, we have seen about commercial farming for the purpose of selling it, the products in the market. In that, we have learned about commercial grain farming, mixed farming, dairy farming, okay, and plantation agriculture as well as market gardening. So I hope this chapter is clear to you. The next chapter of geography, that is chapter number 6, is also related to this chapter only, that is major crops and case studies. I will provide you the lecture of chapter 6 also in the continuation of chapter 5, so that it will be easy for you to understand. So after this I am going to provide you the videos of chapter 6 of geography. Please watch the video carefully, read your book, you will be able to understand, and if you are not able to understand any topic, you are free to ask me anyhow. So thank you students.